Everybody, I'm in Schoology. Down here at the bottom of the materials page are the three things that you're going to have to turn in for this latest assignment. It's the brainstorming after having read text 4, text 5, and text 6. So that's what you have to turn in. I do want to take a moment here just to show you what's in the school sports folder before we go any further. These last four are the most recent postings, and this is a video recap of the arguments out of text 2 and text 3, where through video I go through specifically text 2 and text 3 just to point out the most compelling evidence and arguments that those writers make in those articles. It's very similar to the one that I did for text 1, so they may not be very useful right now, especially if you have already done those assignments and you thought to yourself, actually I did those pretty well. But down the road, as you go to write your essay, you may end up finding yourself going back to these videos in order to just to remind yourself, am I missing anything that could be really strong for my essay, for my argument? These last three that I am scrolling over right now deal with the current assignment, and text 4 is an audio reading. If you click on it, you're going to get an MP3 window where you can play text 4, the reading of text 4, while you follow along with text 4. So if that's something that you need, it's available in the school sports folder. And then there are resources to help you while you're dealing with text 5 and text 6 here as well. And as always, the school sports packet is right here. I've already downloaded it from before, so it's available to me like that. Let's see. I'm just going to tell you right now, I'm clicking on the assignment details for 4, 5, and 6. And right off the bat, I'm just going to tell you there's nothing to turn in here. This is just letting you know these are the things that you have to do for the assignment, and that completing this assignment requires that you complete the brainstorming for 4, 5, and 6 that are at the bottom of the materials page for English 9. I already showed you this, but this is just an image of what's down here. So again, this is what you are turning in, very similar to what you did for text 2 and 3. So you can see the due date, it's May 26th, so next Tuesday, or Tuesday the 26th, depending on when you see this video and start tackling this assignment. So alright, so just dealing with text 4, you can see that it's by Mark Edmondson. You are being asked to read it and to do the brainstorming that's in this packet right here. So this is the brainstorming for text 4. In terms of Schoology, it's right here. That same page is right here in Schoology. So this equals this. This equals this. Same thing with text 5. Same thing with text 6 as well. So we've just kind of taken the packet, turned it into Schoologized it to some degree, and this is what you'll be turning in order to earn credit for your reading. In terms of text 4, you can see based on the headline or the title that this text could go either way. It's not clear whether or not Mark Edmondson from the title is in favor of sports, school sports, or whether or not he's not in favor of school sports. So for instance, up top he writes about playing football in the summer, like these roaring hot summers where his coaches thought it would be dangerous if they drank water, which of course, leads to heat stroke and dehydration and, is quite dangerous. But he goes on to write about, what football did for him. He confesses that he wasn't really all that great of an athlete. He was nothing spectacular physically. His skills weren't all that great. but that he really enjoyed his experience. In fact, down here, starting on line 41, 42, starting on line 43, says, I like the transforming aspect of the game. I came to the field one thing, a diffident guy with a slack body, and worked like a dog, and so became something else. A guy with some physical prowess, and maybe even more importantly, he says, more faith in himself. So, I like this, and the reason why I'm trying to copy it, it's not working out very well. Let me try it a slightly different way. Is because I also have this other window open, and it's a Google Docs. I don't know what the primary claim that Mark Edmondson is noting just yet, but I did like this. What I say? It started on line 40, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 43 through 47. Just going to make this a little bit bigger so that you can see it here. But this is kind of the point of having another window open, is that you could take eventually what you have here, transfer it over to this space right here, and kind of get it perfect in Google Docs. Before you go ahead and turn it in Schoology. And then you can keep this document so that down the road when you go to keep working on your to work on your essay, you'll have it. Sorry, just trying to do some formatting while I talk into a mic, which is not that easy. Anyway, I like this quote. The idea that, he's getting something out of sports that is, even though he's playing a team game, it's he's found a way to have more faith in himself. What else is in here? Oh, down here he talks about practice. He's not talking about games, but he says practice was about showing up and doing the same drills day after day and getting stronger and faster by tiny increments, and then discovering that by the end of the season you were effectively another person. So he talks about, growth, his own personal growth through sports. I'm going to try something else here. See if I can copy this with formatting and see if that saves me any time. No. But I'm going to make it a little bit larger again so that you can see it. I would never print something at 18 point, but just want you to be able to see it better. And as I reformat it, it's only taking me just a couple seconds here. Just want to make sure that I get the citation. Looks like it's line all the way through 73. And there's a direct quote again. But again, another, nice piece of evidence. Whether or not you wanted to use some of this as the best piece of evidence for text 4 and put it here, or you were just going to take some of this and maybe place it, this is just a for instance, by the way, put it down here under, this is a second piece of evidence that you thought was good, and submit it right here. Anyway, this is how you would handle text 4, text 5, and text 6. My suggestion to you when you're dealing with text 5 is that you take a look at the video reading of text 5. And the only reason why I say that is because text 5 is unique compared to all the other text that we've been dealing with, is, it's a bar graph. There's quite a bit of information up here that tries to help you out in understanding this bar graph as best as you can. But what do you take away from it most? In 2018, these are the 2018 scores around the world for 15-year-olds. In the United States, we're 13th in reading, we're 18th in science, and we are 37th in math. And my suggestion to you is just that if you don't watch that video, that you take yourself back to that place back in text 1 where there was a previous bar graph, and you kind of compare there in order to say, well, how have we been doing lately? Is that going to help your argument in some way? So that's text 5. Text 6. Is another short article. It's just one page, and you're gonna have to figure out, well, what's the claim here? What are some pretty good pieces of evidence to support that claim? And eventually, by the time you're done with 4, 5, and 6, you may say to yourself, I've got a pretty good idea which direction my argument is going to take. Are you going to say that the current model, where we have school-sponsored sports, where school and taxpayer dollars pay for the equipment and the contests and the travel and the insurance and everything else that goes into it? Or does it make more sense to say, hey, school should just be school, and we can do sports in a different way other than having it being tied to schools? So that's the direction eventually you'll head. 4, 5, and 6 may help you get to a place where you feel confident in what your argument is going to be for your essay. And we can talk about the writing next week, but right now you need to read text 4, text 5, and text 6 and complete this work down here. Good luck.